Hello, welcome back to the Villa View. It's time for a match preview for Villa's trip to Millwall.
So then down a game that basically means nothing to us now, confirmed to finish fourth in the playoffs. How do you think this game's going to go in terms of momentum and things like that?
To be honest, part of me is quite glad there's nothing on the line. I mean, obviously I'd rather we were gunning for second going into the last day of the season, but I wouldn't have liked to have been playing Millwall if they'd have had to have won to get into the playoffs. I think it would have been a real blood and thunder game, but it's pretty much dead rubber now, isn't it? I mean, we can't finish anywhere but fourth. They can't get promoted, which is probably a little bit demoralising for them, but they've had a really good season, so they'll probably want to end the season on a high in front of their own fans.
Yeah, I haven't checked the league table, but I think they might still be able to make sixth if there's a massive goal difference, which obviously not going to happen. One thing I did note, I think I saw a few people saying that we should, rotate a few players. Obviously, we'll get onto team news a little bit later, and play some of the youngsters and things like that. But is the Premier League Cup tournament thing that's happening tonight on the Friday, will that affect any decisions whether players will be able to play the Friday and the Sunday?
None of them will be involved with a game on Friday. I'm almost 100% sure of that. They're going to need recovery time on the Saturday. It's not as if it's any game either. It's a big game.
That's what I thought.
It's a really big game for them, so none of them will be involved on Sunday. But I think, as we spoke about in the podcast a little bit, we can make 8 changes and that will fit in within the rules. So effectively, 8 people can be rested. So if it was me, I'd rest 8 people if we can, because there's nothing riding on it. And I think we've built up enough momentum in the last month or so going into the playoffs anyway, that really not playing people and we lose on Sunday, I don't think that will make a massive difference to us going into the playoffs, because there's people who, quite frankly, you would not want injured, and it's not worth the risk.
Who are those players for you out of interest?
Well, Terry, Grealish, they're 2 off the top of my head that definitely I wouldn't play, and I don't think either of them will play. Even people like, Chester, for example, he's one of our most important players, but
although I imagine he'll want to play, and having this record of not missing a game for so long.
He'll play. He'll want to keep up his record of playing every minute. Graben's another important player, but he's got the golden boot on the line, so you'd think he'd want to play. I mean, it's good to give people like Codger, Lansbury, Onaman minutes in case we need them. I mean, we will need them at the very least off the bench during the playoffs, so it's better to get some game time under their belt as well. But I'd be resting Snodgrass, be tempted to rest Connor. Hutton needs a game because he hasn't played much recently, so he'd be playing in one of the full-back positions for me. I think Neil Taylor's out, isn't he? But I'd be tempted to play Bree as well. Just try and rest as many people as we physically can. Do
you think there's enough fit replacements, minus those under 23 players, to make 8 changes?
Maybe not 8, but I think 5 or 6 could come in. I think Bjarnason's out as well. I think that Calderwood said that Sunday's going to come too soon for him. But we've definitely got options, and You've got to do it, in my opinion. I just do not say that it's worth the risk.
So you mentioned about, if you make changes and you lose, we've already built up that bit of momentum. Do you think it's preferable, if we're going to lose the game, to have made changes and lose for that reason, rather than we go, right, let's play another full-strength team and we lose that game and we think, oh, how are we going to get on in the playoffs if we've lost this game with our full-strength side? If we've made changes and we lose, then you can forgive that.
Yeah, in my opinion, I'm okay with that. I know there'll probably be people that think differently, and people are paying good money to go to the game. But the bigger picture is the playoffs is now far more important than giving a good account of yourselves on the last day. I mean, I'm sure whoever comes in will want to try and play themselves into contention, and that's the thing now. It's like when you've got a cup final on the horizon. The people that haven't been involved, they want to be involved in the playoffs. They want to get game time. And as I say, if we do get injuries in training, it's important that these players are match fit and ready to go. So I'd argue it's more important for the people that haven't played to get game time, because the others who have been the key players have had the game time in the last few months.
So how do you see this game go? And then Millwall can't really make playoffs unless there's a disaster happens in a few games. We can't finish other than 4. So how does this game pan out?
I got asked to write something for the Millwall programme, and I put down 1-1 in my prediction. I mean, with Millwall, I think it could go either way. I think they'll either come out all guns blazing, want to go out on a high, or they could be a little bit deflated just by the fact that they've had such a good second half of the season and they've got so close to the playoffs, but not the last few games I think they've lost. They've not managed to get it over the line. I mean, at one point we were talking on the Villa View like they were going to do it, because it looked like they were going to nab fifth or sixth, because they were on such a good run, and unfortunately they've just fallen short for them. But I think Neil Harris is manager of the year. I think they've had an absolutely incredible season. For them to be anywhere near the top 6, I think is absolute testament to him. I think sometimes managers fit in with certain clubs, and obviously he's an ex-player, but they've got a manager there that quite simply just gets it, and he's got players playing through their ceiling. In my opinion, the majority of those players were playing in League One last season, and they've made the step up. People like Lee Gregory, Steve Morrison's been around the block. Saville's a good midfield player, but he's got the absolute best out of his players, and I think if they are obviously going to be in this league next year, I think they'll be real contenders if they keep their squad together, because they've had a phenomenal run in the second half of the season. It's a bit like us for them, I guess, because although I'm happy we're in the playoffs, because there's been certain points this season where I wasn't 100% convinced that was going to happen, and the playoffs was the minimum expectation, so I'm grateful from that side of things, but I'm a tinge disappointed we're not top 2, because I don't know if you saw the stats that Adam Wright put on Twitter.
Yeah, I did, yeah.
That Cardiff bottom for almost everything that you think is important on a football pitch. Yet they've managed to get second, and we've had a good season and performed well, got over 80 points, I think we're the 3rd highest goal scorers in the league, so I'm a tinge disappointed obviously that we haven't managed to go up automatically. I mean, you've got to congratulate Wolves, they've had an incredible season. I don't know what everyone thinks of them, I probably do know what Villa fans think of them, but you can't argue with it. They deserve to be where they are, and Cardiff or Fulham, if they go up second, they'll have finished there because they deserve to, but we've just fallen short, which is disappointing. And I'm sure although Millwall fans will say they've had a much better season than they expected, obviously when you get so close to that top 6, you're going to be upset that you haven't got it over the line. Yeah,
I'm just looking at the league table now. I was looking away a few times there. I wasn't ignoring what you were talking about.
Oh, I can't see you anyway.
The only thing that's up for grabs that concerns us is who we play in the playoffs. And obviously we'll talk about the playoffs a lot more in depth after Sunday. But just looking at it, you've got Middlesbrough currently in 5th on 75, and then Derby in 6th on 72. So there has to be a goal difference change, and Middlesbrough have to lose and Derby win. The fixtures for those two: Derby play Barnsley at home, and Middlesbrough are away at Ipswich. So as I say, we will talk about it in more detail later, but if you had to pick now, which one would you rather play, Derby or Borough?
To be honest, I don't really think it matters, because you could end up playing the other one in the final if you get there.
Yeah.
So I'd fancy us against anyone in the league at home, and in the big games, as I've said many a time, we've turned up and we've won, and on most occasions we've won well in those big games in front of a full house, which it will be at Villa Park. It's just that away leg. It depends what happens in the away leg. Obviously we've gone to Middlesbrough and won this season, albeit very early in Pulis's tenure, whereas the Derby game, I was at that game when we were away, and it was one of the worst displays we've put in all season. But I generally wasn't that impressed by Derby. They defend well.
No, same.
I think in a big game, I think, as I say, I think we can beat anyone. I can't see it not being Middlesbrough, to be honest, but I don't really have a preference.
Yeah, my only thing with Pulis is it's just one of those games where it's 0-0 in the away leg or whatever, and then he comes to Villa Park and nicks a goal off a corner or something, and the dream's over. People
won't want to play us. I mean, Derby or Middlesbrough won't be looking forward to playing us, because they'll know on our day we're a very good side in this league and we can beat anyone. So I'm trying to look at it from the point of view, I'm more thinking about what we can do rather than what teams can do for us. Do against us. If we've got the players fit and our big players turn up, I think we'll beat most.
So going back to Sunday then, let's round it off. The last league preview we'll do. What's your prediction? 1-1, wasn't it? I think you said.
Yeah, I'll go with a 1-1, just because I'm not really sure what to expect. I mean, the other thing is Steve Bruce is obviously having a horrific time at the moment. I mean, I don't think you could blame him if he wasn't there. It's a nothing game, and he's got every right to miss it. But I don't think fans would complain at all should he not be there on Sunday, and we wish him all the best, because he has had an absolutely horrific time over the last few months. Obviously losing his dad and then losing his mum a short time afterwards, it's unthinkable, and I can't imagine what he's going through. So everyone at the Villa View wishes him all the best.
So I'm going to go with my prediction as well. I think we'll sneak a 2-1 away win with I said Adoan would score last game. I really think he could do with getting into a bit of the form that we've seen earlier in the season. Otherwise he could be thinking about maybe Codger or Grabban playing on the left like we've seen a couple of times, and Adoan drops out. But I'd like to see Adoan get back in, get amongst it, and 2-1 I'll go for.
So that's it for the match preview. Thanks for all of you that have tuned in for these videos all season. It's pretty much bread and butter for us now doing the match preview, but we do appreciate that people like to hear what we have to say pre-game. If you're not already subscribed to the channel with your post notifications on, then if you could do that, that would be absolutely fantastic. And comment below with your predictions ahead of the Millwall game. And don't forget to do your fan score either if you are in our Villa View League. I've completely forgotten to do mine for the last month, so God knows where I am. Give the video a like as well if you have enjoyed the content this season. And if you haven't seen our absolutely ridiculous FBA's podcast video looking at Tom's lead up to the podcast, then go and have a look at that, because it is probably the most ridiculous video we've ever done, but it is quite funny actually, if I do say so myself. Tom Julian's done very well, very comedic guy. If you haven't voted for us yet in the FBAs, then check that video out for that reason as well, because it goes through all the details of how to do that on Twitter and via the FBA's website. We're absolutely chuffed to be nominated for Best Football Podcast, so now we're in that final, we want to try and win it, so all your votes are greatly appreciated and they do all count, so please get your votes in if you haven't done already. Here's the 3 points on Saturday for the Villa at Millwall. Up the Villa. If you enjoyed that video, why not watch another? Click the video choices on screen now to go and watch them in full. Be sure to subscribe to the channel by clicking our logo there on the left. Easy peasy.